The salvage yard on Station Kepler 7 reeked of ionized metal and desperation. Zixara crouched behind a stack of corroded hull plating, her three-fingered hands trembling as she clutched a stolen protein bar. The Galactic Council had declared her species, the Velari, as economically unviable, a bureaucratic death sentence that meant no jobs, no housing, no future. Her skin, normally a vibrant azure, had faded to a sickly gray from malnutrition. The bioluminescent patterns that once danced across her face now flickered weakly, like dying stars. Around the station, other species passed her without a glance. To them, she was invisible, worthless. "Hey, you there!" A guttural voice shattered her moment of peace. A Krovax enforcer lumbered toward her, his forearms gesturing threateningly. "No Velari scum allowed in this sector. Move along before I call sanitation to dispose of you." Zixara scrambled backward, dropping her precious protein bar. She'd heard the rumors. Velari who resisted removal simply disappeared. She turned to run, but her weakened legs buckled beneath her. The enforcer raised his comm device. "This is Officer Druck. I have Refuse in Sector 9 Delta." "That's a person, not Refuse." The voice was calm but carried an edge sharp enough to cut steel. Zixara looked up to see a human woman standing between her and the enforcer. She was tall by human standards, with dark skin and hair pulled back in a practical ponytail. Her coveralls bore the insignia of an independent salvage operator, someone who answered to no one. "Stay out of this, human," Druk growled. "The Velari are classified as—" "I know what they're classified as," the woman interrupted. "And I know the Galactic Council doesn't have jurisdiction over my property. She's standing in my salvage claim." Druck's mandibles clicked in irritation. "Your claim doesn't extend to Section 47, Subsection 12 of the Kepler Station Charter. Any registered salvage operator has full autonomy over their designated workspace, including personnel management." She crossed her arms. "I can recite the whole thing if you'd like, but I'm guessing you've got better things to do than lose a legal argument with a human." The enforcer's face cycled through several shades of purple before he finally stomped away, muttering curses in 3 different languages. The human turned and extended her hand. "Name's Maya Chen. You look like hell." Zixara stared at the outstretched hand, unable to comprehend what had just happened. In the 6 months since her planet had been decommissioned, no one had spoken to her as if she mattered. No one had even acknowledged her existence except to move her along. I have no credits," Zixara whispered in broken Standard Galactic. "Cannot pay." Maya waved dismissively. "Did I ask for payment? Come on, let's get you cleaned up and fed. Then we'll figure out the rest." Maya's workshop was a chaotic wonderland of salvaged technology and half-completed projects. She cleared a space on a workbench and gestured for Zixara to sit while she rummaged through a storage locker. "Most species out here look at everything through a cost-benefit lens," Maya said, pulling out a medical kit. "Humans, we're idiots like that. We help people even when it doesn't make economic sense." She smiled wryly. "It's gotten us in trouble more times than I can count." She scanned Zixara with a handheld medical device, her expression darkening as she read the results. "Severe malnutrition, dehydration, and your immune system is shot. When's the last time you had a real meal?" Zixara couldn't remember. The days had blurred together into a nightmare of hunger and fear. Maya prepared a nutrient solution calibrated for Velari biology, something that shouldn't have been possible since most medical databases had deleted Velari data after the Council's declaration. But humans, Zixara was learning, had a habit of keeping information others deemed useless. Over the following weeks, Zixara slowly recovered under Maya's care. The human taught her how to repair salvaged components, how to identify valuable materials, and how to operate the various tools in the workshop. But more importantly, Maya treated her as an equal, not as something broken or worthless. "Your people were engineers, right?" Maya asked one day, as they worked side by side repairing a quantum manifold. Zixara's bioluminescent patterns flickered with remembered pride. "Yes, Vehlari designed the phase shift technology that most modern drives use, but when the patent expired, Council said we had no more value." "That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard," Maya muttered. "Just because someone else can manufacture your invention doesn't mean you stop having value as engineers and creators." It was such a simple statement, but it cracked something open inside Zixara. Her hands moved more confidently as she calibrated the manifold's resonance chamber. For the first time in months, she felt like herself again. 3 months after their first meeting, Maya stormed into the workshop with a datapad clutched in her hand and fire in her eyes. "Zix, you need to see this!" The screen showed a council announcement, a critical malfunction in the station's main power grid. The phase shift regulators were failing, and none of the approved species could figure out why. The station had 72 hours before catastrophic failure. "They deleted all the Vehlari technical documentation," Maya said. "The idiots boxed themselves into a corner." Zixara's patterns pulsed with sudden understanding. "The phase alignment algorithm. They are using the standard configuration, but in high radiation environments like Kepler-7, you must adjust the harmonic frequency by 0.7% every 6 cycles or the regulators crystallize." "Can you fix it?" "Yes, but they will not listen to me. I am Vehlari." Maya grinned, and it was the kind of smile that had made humans simultaneously feared and admired across the galaxy. "Let me worry about that." 2 hours later, Zixara stood before the Council's Emergency Engineering Committee, flanked by Maya and 3 other human engineers who had mysteriously appeared. The chamber was filled with species who had ignored her existence for months. "You brought a Vehlari?" The Krovax representative sputtered. "This is—" "Your only option," Maya interrupted. "Unless you'd prefer to evacuate 40,000 residents in the next 70 hours. Zixara explained the solution, her voice growing stronger with each technical detail. She watched understanding, and then embarrassment dawn on the faces around the chamber. The phase shift regulators were repaired within 20 hours. The station was saved. In the aftermath, the Council quietly rescinded the economically unviable classification for the Vehlari. It wasn't an apology. Bureaucracies rarely apologize, but it was a start. Zixara stood in Maya's workshop, her bioluminescent patterns now blazing with vibrant health and something that might have been hope. "Why did you help me?" she asked. "You risked everything." Maya shrugged. "Because that's what humans do. We're stubborn that way. We see someone who needs help and we help them, even when, especially when, everyone else says they're worthless." She placed a hand on Zixara's shoulder. "Besides, you were never worthless. You just needed someone to see you." In the cold mathematics of galactic economics, Maya's actions made no sense. But humans had never been very good at mathematics when compassion was involved. And perhaps, Zixara thought as her patterns danced with renewed life, that was humanity's greatest strength of all.